so long to get back here, but life stuff happened. Can't talk too much about it because that would reveal like my location, and I know I put that out there before. But luckily, I was at a time where I was not live streaming and things like that. So people that know my location, I don't believe that they would try to harm me and put my information out there and make it easier for people to like dox me or hack me or whatever. I've been learning a lot about that. I hope y'all can hear me. Let me know if you're having any issues. In fact, let me go ahead and just pause this, or maybe I'll just mute it a little bit so it could keep playing. We have some updates on the Houston Tiger, on the Suzanne Morphew case, as well as Maya Miliete and Tristan Bailey and Amari Nicholson, and I also found some other stories for us to look at. It's going to be mostly updates. Hi Danielle Williams, it is so good to see you. And some other updates that I found. I'm going to try to come back on later tonight. Look what happens when I put on my headphones. My hair goes all over the place. I want to try to come back later tonight, but if I do, that's going to be more of like a chill live. I went ahead and created a backup channel. Hi Queen's Throne, aka Crown Empress. Thank you so much for being here. Check your IG chat, our private chat. I sent you something a few days ago and it's kind of funny. And I wanted you to see it. So yeah, anyways, yeah, so if I do come back later tonight, it'll probably just be more like a chat. I'll probably have an open panel or something like that where we could talk about some things, apart from like true crime and news stories. I shed a lot. It's crazy how much hair I lose. You would think that I'd be bald by now. Not that there's anything wrong with being bald. Sometimes I can really consider just going ahead and shaving all my freaking hair off because of how much hair I lose daily. You should see my brush. I could make a wig after a while with all the hair that I lose. It's wild. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. Queen's Throne, are you gonna be live tonight? Just asking. But alright, let's get into it. So let me go ahead and make me small, and let's go ahead and stop sharing this screen, which makes me big again. You don't have electricity? Oh my gosh, that sucks. It's been crazy. Like, again, I don't want to say too much about like what my location or whatever, but it's been crazy weather the past few days. And our power was like in and out, which meant that my internet was in and out, and that was just crazy. I went ahead and made sure that all my devices had books downloaded into them, like my streaming services, whatever allows me to download movies and stuff like that. I went ahead, that was all taken care of because I didn't want to be bored. I was anticipating like long-term power outages, but it actually wasn't too bad. But yeah, it fucking sucks not having electricity. I feel you. Tyrant Spain TDOA is in the house. Thank you very much for being here. So let's go ahead and share the screen that contains the playlist of videos that I collected for us to watch, and I did share audio, so there shouldn't be any issues. Quiet. I went ahead and just started playing. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Let me go ahead and pause that because I don't want that to just all of a sudden start playing. Let's see. Queen's Throne, aka Crown Empress, says we had a huge storm. It blew everything around and we had to go 2 cities over to eat because the electricity back on, but ours is still down since 2 a.m. That's fucking rough. I'm sorry. It says the browser can't access your screen, try capturing a different screen. Yeah, I don't know what your problem is, but let's go ahead and share audio. That's better. Cool. Alright, let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Thank you everybody for being here. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into this playlist. First of all, for some reason, my tablet did not reload. Okay, cool. Alright, so the first video we're going to look at is from, what, about 5 days ago? I can't believe it was that long before I jumped back on for a live stream. That's crazy. And it's still, like, flickering. That's nuts. I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm just going to do my best to try to ignore it and not get too distracted like last time. Alright, so this first clip that we're going to look at is called New Video Shows Mysterious Flying Sphere Vanishing into the Ocean, and that's going to be courtesy of 8 News Now Las Vegas. So let's take a look, make sure that the volume is all the way up, and let's hit play and see what's up with these aliens.
A newly released video recorded by the U.S. Navy personnel 2 years ago shows an unknown sphere that followed a Navy warship before disappearing into the ocean.
The video provides the latest glimpse into an ongoing Pentagon investigation into UFOs. I-Team reporter George Knapp unveils details about the encounter earlier on today on our Mystery Wire website. George.
Brian, you know, UFOs are in the air. If I'm here in the studio, something's going on. This video was made public today by our colleague filmmaker Jeremy Corbell with analysis and background on Mystery Wire. The unknown object was one of several that essentially surrounded the Navy warship multiple times over 3 days. 4 other Navy ships had similar encounters.
Over a period of several days in July 2019, at least 5 U.S. Navy warships based in San Diego were swarmed.
Okay, real quick, I just need to, first of all, okay, yeah, go ahead and just disappear ad. Look at this guy right here. He's wearing a yellow jacket and like gray pants, and he is to the left of the guy with the green jacket. I just need to go back real quick. I don't know what everybody thinks is going on here, but he looks like he's having a spaz attack. If it's some kind of medical condition, I do apologize. I don't mean to bully anybody, but I just thought it looked pretty wild how he was like twerking all over the place. Watch this.
5 U.S. Navy warships based in San Diego were swarmed by drone-like objects of unknown...
Kind of was dancing around like he was trying out for the new thriller video. That was wild. Let's continue watching this clip, though.
Origin. One of those ships, the USS Omaha, was on maneuvers more than 100 miles directly west of San Diego and beyond the Channel Islands. One of the Omaha's central missions is surveillance, so it's packed with cutting-edge technology and sensors. But it appears the Omaha was itself under surveillance. This video was recorded inside the Omaha's command center.
Okay, so everybody make sure that you take the time to subscribe to Tyrant's Bane backup channel. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, so just bear with me 1 second because I don't want to forget. Come on, what's happening? Oh, I have literally 2 keyboards, like typing keyboards to work the computer that I'm on, and also the like tablet or the phone that I'm on right now. Alright, I found you. I'll go ahead and put that in the chat. Copy link, so that way people that are here can go ahead and subscribe to his channel. So that should take you to his channel right there. Alright, let's continue watching this video clip.
Just before 11 p.m. on July 15th, the image on the screen shows a 6-foot in diameter sphere that traveled alongside the Omaha for about an hour. It was pitch black outside, so the image was obtained via a thermal sensor. Personnel in the command center made multiple recordings of what was on the screen. At precisely 11 p.m., the unidentified sphere seemingly vanished into the ocean.
Splash, splash. When they say splash, splash, that doesn't mean there was a physical splash. That means this object went into the water, or they suspect it did,
Filmmaker Jeremy Corbell obtained the video from sources he declines to identify. In April, Corbell and MissRaeMoody released a series of other startling images that are included in a briefing presentation prepared by the UAP Task Force, a unit created by Congress last year to collect UFO-related images and information for a comprehensive report due next month. One image from the UAP Task Force is a freeze-frame slide of the sphere seen beside the Omaha. The Pentagon has confirmed that image was captured by Navy personnel. The task force considers it to be a genuine unknown. Other journalists have confirmed that multiple Navy ships in the same vicinity were buzzed by unknown objects during the same time frame, July 2019. Corbell says as many as 14 of the spheres surrounded the Omaha and were detected on sensors on and off during 3 perplexing days at sea. The Omaha's advanced sensors could not maintain a lock on the spheres as they approached the ship or when they departed.
They never found where these things came from or went to. So they don't know where they're launching from or going from. I mean, maybe it's the water because that's what we're seeing one do.
Mark bearing a range. Voices on the video confirm the Omaha launched an immediate search using all of its high-tech resources. But when the sphere vanished from the screen, it also vanished from the Omaha's radar and sonar. No wreckage was found on the surface.
Terrence Spain, can you make sure that's the correct channel? Because I'm looking at it and it looks like it's gaming videos. I just want to make sure that's you. Can you just make sure? And if not, let me go ahead and mod you to on my chat. That way you could post it if it's not correct. Hi, Princess Alana. How you doing? You shooting? You shooting the UFOs? Pew pew.
The UAP Task Force briefing is a classified document, but the images contained in that briefing are not classified. That distinction was made so the task force could use images like this to brief other military and intelligence officials about the UFO mystery. Simply put, the Navy does not know what these things are. They are still considered to be unknown.
Alright, so we got aliens and UFOs invading us. Or, I mean, another way you could look at it, too, mod you, Princess Helena, my mods are people that I actually communicate with offline, so that's kind of, for now, that's just going to be like a rule that I have for my channel. It's just people that I know, but, you know, stick around, and I'll see if I can, you know, break my rule someday, but for now, I'd rather just, okay, let me go ahead and just, okay, thank you, Tyrant Spain. Let me go ahead and delete that. There's some other Tyrant Spain out there trying to jack your style. I don't know how I can delete this. I'll do that later. Go to Tyrant Spain's link. That's the correct one, not the one that I found. Sorry about that, y'all. Alright, let's go ahead and continue with the playlist. So we have an update on the Lori Vallow Daybell. She prefers to be called Daybell, not that I respect her wishes or anything, but legally she is married, therefore her last name is Daybell. And Chad Daybell situation, for those of you that are not aware of the story. Thanks, Tyrant Spain. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it, and everybody else that's here. I do appreciate all of your subscriptions, and every time that you hit the like, and any donations that are made. I really do appreciate everything from you all. But I wanted to continue explaining about Lori and Chad Daybell. So last year, their children, well, actually, one child was adopted. That's going to be JJ. And Lori's daughter, Ty Lee, went missing. And Lori and her new husband were not giving any kind of ideas as far as to where the children were. The children's grandparents were very concerned, and they eventually involved the authorities, who they then, demanded that Lori Vallow have an explanation as to where the children are, or at least show them and let everybody know that they were okay. She ignored all of those requests and ended up going to Hawaii to marry that man. And there was a news reporter who traveled all the way over there to ask them what is going on with them. Why can't she say where the kids are at? Are they okay? Are they with somebody? You know, are they missing? She just was not cooperating at all, and since then they have been arrested, and unfortunately the children's bodies were found on their property. So this is going to be an update. They're still arrested. I'm pretty sure there haven't been any charges as far as, you know, murder charges. So far it's having to do with handling their deceased bodies. So my guess is that authorities at this time don't have what they need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt who did what, who killed the children. And there's a lot of other things that are happening around this case. It is a very interesting case to analyze. There's a lot of different players involved. There's a cult also involved in this story. It's been pretty crazy. So there's an update from Inside Edition. It's called Reporter Subpoenaed in Case Against Lori and Chad Daybell. So let's take a look at this update. And yeah, this is courtesy of Inside Edition, and it was posted May 14th. So let's take a look.
Geico's whole 15 minutes thing. That came from me, my first idea.
After this ad, so 1 second please. It's a pretty long ad too. They took away your community tab, Terrence. What happened? Why are they hating on you? All you're trying to do is you know, drop gems and spit facts. Why does YouTube always have a problem with that? And yet they let all kinds of raunchiness go unchecked on here, but you got somebody, you know, spreading knowledge and intelligence, and they've got a real problem with that. That is just really starting to get me. Just saying. Alright, let's watch this clip.
Your kids. No comment? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
Alright, so what we're watching here is footage from when Lori and Chad were in Hawaii, and I'm not too sure if this was before or after they got married, but this reporter here went out there to question them and try to find out where the kids were. So that's this part.
A journalist is being subpoenaed to testify in the case of 2 missing Idaho children that he covered extensively.
Did you do something to your children? Are your children still alive? That's a simple question.
Nate Eaton is the news director at EastIdahoNews.com. He tracked Lori and Chad Daybell to Hawaii to try to get answers as to where Lori's children were. 7-year-old JJ Vallow and 17-year-old Tylee Ryan had been reported missing months earlier. While their mother, Lori, told law enforcement and family members at the time the children were both safe, investigators say they discovered their bodies buried on the Rexburg, Idaho property of her husband, Chad. While Eaton is on a list of witnesses in the case, his outlet and other journalism organizations are calling it a violation of First Amendment rights. An attorney for Eaton said, "The First Amendment protects the independence of the press so it can report on criminal cases and not be forced to become witnesses in them. We hope the defense will reconsider this course and withdraw the subpoena." Chad and Lori Daybell are both charged with conspiracy to commit destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence in connection to the children's disappearance. They pleaded not guilty and deny any wrongdoing in this case. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Montalbano.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I found one of Tyrant Bain new videos on his new channel. So if this makes it easier for anybody to go over there and locate his channel, I'll go ahead and do that. But yeah, this is interesting that they would subpoena a reporter. All he did was go over there and ask questions. I don't believe that he got any more information that the police could have gotten, because it seems to me like they pretty much ignored him when he was trying to talk to them. I did see some comments that were worth mentioning. Someone said he's a neutral party and was involved a lot in doing his own investigation. There is no doubt he added tremendous value to the investigation and piecing things together that the police, as the first line of investigation, managed to do or witness. He flew himself after the criminals while the cops were sipping on their tea, and that is a fact. There was another comment that I thought was worth mentioning. Somebody said, like, I don't understand why they think he knows anything. He only asks questions. He was great. He's a good reporter. However, I don't see how he would know anything. Am I missing something? They both ignored every one of his questions. So that's pretty interesting to see what it is that they're trying to get out of him. I would think that by now the cops would know more than a reporter would. Queen's Throne, aka Crown Empress, thank you so much for sharing my live. I really do appreciate that. So that's an interesting turn of events. I'm very curious to see what it is that they think the reporter knows that he wouldn't, contribute to the investigation. It really does seem to me like he was trying to get to the truth, and if he did find anything out, I think that he would either report it or, if anything, go to the police and offer up such information. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens there. So the next clip that we're going to look at has to do with the recent cold storm that Texas had. I want to say maybe about a month ago, maybe more. And what happened was it got very, very cold, and Texas is not used to that. First of all, it is very hot there, and it is very humid, and the weather, pardon me saying, but I compare it to it being very bipolar. If it's not hot, it's cold. It's very rarely a nice, fresh, humidity, low humidity type of weather there. And a few weeks ago, there was a very bad winter storm. Some of you might have seen some clips that were out there. I personally saw some YouTubers that I know of that were struggling a lot because of it. Their pipes busted open. There was water all over the floor. I saw chandeliers that were frozen over. People could see their breath inside their homes, which is crazy for a place like that. A little boy passed away that was living in a trailer. That we had questions about that too. I remember I had a conversation with Black and Bougie about it. It was very devastating to hear about. So it turned out that this had to do with the electric companies that were shutting off the electricity, allegedly to conserve and to not create a bigger issue. According to them, if they hadn't done that, the power would have been out for even longer, and that's pretty much how they try to appease people by saying that it could have been worse. So this update that we're about to look at is having to do with that situation, and it is called Inside Look at Texas Electric Company that prepared for February's deep freeze years ago, and that's going to be courtesy of KPRC2 Click to Houston.
When it comes to the region that was hit hardest during our state's winter storm, look no further than Harris County.
Check this out. A recent report from the University of Houston revealed 91% of people here lost power at some point during the February freeze. The average outage time, a staggering 49 hours.
But while most of our state was dark, one city was shining bright. El Paso. KPRC2 investigator Mario Diaz traveled out west to see how they got it right and what it's going to take for the rest of the state to get on board.
If we had power, we wouldn't be talking today.
Lisa Carter is upset.
This wouldn't be happening to our house.
Her floors are getting battered. Part of the lingering aftermath from the winter freeze.
This shouldn't have happened in the first place.
The price tag so far?
Just shy of $100,000.
Ask Roberto Perez how much he paid in repairs. He'll proudly tell you...
Zip. Zero. Nada.
In fact, Roberto's city had no issues.
It was perfectly fine.
Not one day did we lose power.
The bottom line in El Paso?
Everything was pretty mellow here.
The El Paso Electric Company is the reason why.
What we're doing is making our preparations for next winter and the winters thereafter more permanent.
Senior Director of Operations, Luis Guadarrama, showed KPRC2 investigates proper insulation.
The material that I see in that plant is very similar to what Houstonians have in their homes and in their attics.
That's correct. A lot of it is.
Underneath the padding, miles of heat-tracing cables. Cables experts say could have limited February's failures. if they were required.
You can feel it, it's hot.
Yep. A system designed to activate at 40 degrees. Albert Montaño is a plant manager at the Montana Power Station east of El Paso.
So yeah, heat trace cable, and then you add a blanket to it to keep the heat in.
Your version of an electric blanket.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
And it comes on and protects the pipes.
That is correct.
And everyone's electricity stays on.
Yes, sir.
There is no law requiring winter protection like what you see here. El Paso Electric made the investment on its own after the state's last major freeze in 2011.
It's not a significant amount of money.
The company spent $4.5 million to retrofit 2 of its facilities serving Texas and New Mexico. A third was built 6 years ago with deep freeze measures. All withstood February's storm. And Senior Vice President Stephen Baracek says they could have tolerated much worse.
Down to minus 10 degrees is what they're designed to.
But not all plants in Texas are the same. And while El Paso's investment was 7 figures, retrofitting can cost tens of millions. To do it at every plant in Texas, the price tag about $10 billion. Add another $6 billion to winterize the natural gas system companies rely on. But considering the loss of life from February's storm, 111 people in Texas, including 31 in Harris County, and property damage up to $295 billion statewide.
I think that the investment needs to be made. Absolutely.
So who pays for it? You probably will, if you want it. The Hobby School at the University of Houston found 50% of those surveyed don't want to pay anything more in their bills. 25% said they'd pay $10 or more to help get it done. And for the remaining 25%, shelling out $5 was their max. Lisa Carter would pay. Hearing about El Paso's success while she struggles is frustrating.
This should have never happened.
Her message to those in charge?
Do not let this ever happen to the state of Texas again.
What separates El Paso Electric from most companies, they control their power generation. They don't rely on ERCOT. Still, the bottom line with every expert we spoke with, had power generating facilities properly insulated, the challenges that we all faced in February would not have been as severe. Now, Dominique and Keith, here is some of the insulation that El Paso has. As you can see, it's somewhat heavy. It's right. Big, right?
Thick, yeah.
We also went to the facility that manufactures it. You're going to be completely shocked about that location. And for that story, you can go right now to click2houston.com. You'll see it in the Investigate section.
I got an inclination. Yeah. All right. Excellent reporting, Mari.
All right.
I do too. I have a feeling it's going to turn out that it's Houston that provides that. And instead of protecting everybody else, El Paso actually made the decision to prevent any future issues when it comes to electricity going out during freezes. And it's just crazy how this world works. I never understood it. The priorities are wild, and it really, really just frustrates me when I think about Ted Cruz taking off for his vacation with his family. Meanwhile, the rest of Texas was suffering a severe winter storm. It was just crazy to me. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the opposite when it comes to cold. Now we're going to talk about fire, and this is called "They're Still Using It." Firefighters with cancer question use of dangerous chemical in equipment, and this is going to be courtesy of 11 Alive. And that's going to be after this ad. 1 second, please.
I don't like it at all that they're still using it, that they haven't tried to find something better, that they haven't gone to other means.
That's correct, Chait. He says firefighters are on the job right now using a chemical that could give them cancer. And he says he's living proof. Thanks for staying up late with us tonight. I'm Aisha Howard.
And I'm Ron Jones. Some retired firefighters, Georgia firefighters, say hidden dangers could have killed them, and they're warning those still on the job. New on Up Late, Reveal investigator Kristen Crowley uncovers what's potentially putting lives at risk.
The fact that there is a problem with AFFF foam, as we are being made more aware of now.
When Mark Johnson signed up to be an Atlanta firefighter, he knew the big risks.
What makes being a firefighter dangerous in your eyes?
Well, being caught in a flashover, of course, in a collapse, we're not thinking of the foam agent that we might be using.
31 years of dedicated service.
Fellow retired firefighter Craig Chait didn't think about that either.
I never assumed or thought that there was any issues with AFFF or that it could cause cancer or that it could hurt you in the future.
They both can't stop thinking about it now. Aqueous film forming foam, or AFFF, is a special firefighting tool for putting out flammable liquids. It's made with chemicals called PFAS. They help stop hazardous fires, but that may come at a price.
The cancer was wrapped around my vocal cords, so the doctor actually had to cut it off of my vocal cords. They paralyzed a couple of them. So that's what's done this to my voice.
It's a product that has a number of potential concerns to it.
Miriam Calkins works for a branch of the CDC called NIOSH. The federal agency is now researching how both PFAS and AFFF exposure impact firefighters. This foam isn't used every day. It is specially formulated to tackle fuel and oil-based fires, the type that may break out at industrial plants, Air Force bases, and airports like Hartsfield-Jackson. That's where Craig and Mark were exposed for nearly 2 decades.
We had to have an annual training burn every year, and that would take course over a process of a week. And foam would be discharged out of the apparatus and would have to be replenished. So firefighters were handling this.
Despite the growing concern about the safety, it is still in use today, including at Hartsfield-Jackson.
But I don't like it at all that they're still using it, that they haven't tried to find something better, that they haven't gone to other means.
It turns out there are alternatives, but Calkins says replacing AFFF isn't that simple.
But there does not appear to be a single product, at least not yet, that performs as well as AFFF.
So it's kind of open like that.
Mark and Craig are both cancer-free today, but they worry what's in store for their health in the future and what health scares may await their fellow firefighters.
I'm better now and I don't have cancer, but it's going to take me, with everything that I had, probably 6 to 8 more months to be normal again. I'm still not normal. Why should people have to go through that?
The chemical causing the problem, PFAS, is found in a lot of different places, sometimes including water. Last week, The Reveal's Andy Parati looked into what the city of Rome is doing to keep residents safe there. You can watch his story right now on 11alive.com.
That's really wrong. Firefighters risk their life as it is, going into burning buildings, saving people, saving grandmas, saving pets, saving babies, of course. And then on top of that, the very thing that they're using to save people's lives is, in long term, potentially killing them and giving them cancer. I really hope that they do find something that's better. But I have a feeling it's going to be a matter of, cost, kind of like what's going on with the whole, insulating equipment to prevent power outages from happening during winter storms. It's just priorities, how people decide to spend government money. It's just really sad how people prioritize things. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the next clip that we're about to watch. So last week we saw a video of a burning building. It was an apartment building, and up at one of the top floors, a kitten or a cat jumped out and landed on the grass. So this is going to be an update from that story, and I'm pretty sure that video clip will be included here. This is called Search Continues for Cat That Survived Miraculous 6-Story Jump from Burning Apartment, and this is going to be courtesy of CBS Chicago, and that will be after this ad.
Are looking high and low tonight for the most sought after cat, Hennessy. Her quick escape from a house fire made most people gasp. So tonight, Charlie DeMar is on the ground as the community frantically searches.
By now, you've probably seen the viral video of Hennessy the cat launching from a burning Englewood apartment, make a bounce landing, and run off. Hennessy! Hennessy hasn't returned.
Bless his heart, but that's not how you call a cat. Cats don't respond to that. That's probably how you would call a dog. But whenever you need to call a cat, they respond to kitty, 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 kitty. Look, even my dog is like, where?
Turned since the dramatic escape. Monscani Feemster, a neighbor and friend of the feline's owner, spent hours searching for the house cat.
She left some cooking and thought that she'd make it back in time. She ended up getting burnt out. Her cat ended up jumping out the window. It was a female, all-black cat named Hennessy.
Never leave your food cooking. Literally, whenever I go into the kitchen, I already know I'm not going to come out of there for a good hour and a half sometimes. Between, you know, preparing food and then cooking it and then keeping up with the dishes and everything, there's no point in even trying to walk away. Just leave it, do the thing you gotta do, come back and start your food. If you gotta get a chair to sit down and watch things, do that, but never walk away. I won't even go to the restroom because you just never know. You gotta be there to adjust the heat and make sure things are okay, stir things. Don't ever just leave your food like cooking like that, because I mean, look what could happen.
Ooh. Kanaya Sims lives just down the hall from where the fire started. She got out safely and watched Hennessy leap from the smoking fifth-floor window, somehow clearing a large wall.
Everybody was just screaming, and then we all was just in shock because it landed and didn't die.
The same when they say that the cats have 9 lives, we actually saw it for ourselves.
The fire was contained to the fifth-floor apartment. When the cat is found, Paw Chicago says they're willing to help Hennessy's recovery.
Cats are super resilient, and they don't often show pain until they're actually, you know, really, really injured. But we'll be here with vet care when he's found.
Hennessy! Until then, the search continues. Charlie DeMar, CBS 2 News.
We spoke to Hennessy's owner on the phone. She is grateful that her cat survived and that no one was injured. But now, with nowhere to live and her best friend gone, it is understandably a difficult time.
That's horrible.
New details right now, and the people are...
Stop that. I hope that they do find the kitty cat, because they could be injured somewhere. Just because he was able to make the landing doesn't mean that he didn't get injured. And in fact, I wanted to go ahead and look up how do cats land on their feet, and I will just explain it. Okay, so it's called the righting reflex. They can turn themselves the right way around during the fall to land safely on their feet. It's called the cat righting reflex. So righting like right hand, left hand kind of a thing. So that's interesting. All right, let's go ahead and continue. So last time we also saw a news clip of a reporter that was in Miami, and she was reporting about the aggression and violence that sometimes happens in some of these you know, party places there, and she ended up being sort of a victim of an attack. I want to say that they damaged her equipment, they harassed her. This is an update on that story. It is called Man, Woman Charged in Attack of CBS 4 News Crew in South Beach, and that's courtesy of CBS Miami, and this was posted May 13th.
New details right now, and the people arrested for attacking a CBS 4 news crew covering the Miami Beach effort to crack down on increased violence on South Beach. CBS 4's Ted Scouten is live on South Beach with new details on that and on the city's efforts to calm things down. There were some hairy moments for our crew yesterday, Ted.
Yes, certainly were, Elliot. They were reporting from the area where I am right now. This is around 5th and Ocean on South Beach. It was around 9 o'clock when they ran into trouble.
Camera. I don't want it on me. I don't want. I'm just asking you respectfully. Don't touch me. Okay, I'm just asking you respectfully.
CBS 4 reporter Bobeth Yates and photojournalist Ebenezer in the middle of it all, moments after they began recording a scuffle near 5th and Ocean in South Beach.
Well, watch out with that camera, bro. Break your bro.
Then it intensified as they continued to shoot video as the group walked on Ocean Drive.
You a snitch, because there's reporters there that are reporting on the reality of the situation. This chick, shall I say, is freaking out getting all crazy, getting in their face, pointing, and she's like punching the air and shit, calling them a snitch. Like, how does that even make sense? Just fucking behave. People go out to the beach to have fun and party, not to get fucking punched and harassed and abused. But just wait.
Hey, get the out my face!
2 people were arrested, both visiting from...
Oh, look. She was so big and bad, and now it looks like she's been crying. Her face is all red, her nose is red, all up in here. She looks like she's been having a hard time. I guess it's true, they can't just let you do whatever you want. You can't be harassing and abusing people and getting away with it, especially on camera. I mean, how stupid can you be? Granted, maybe she was under the influence of some things, but come on. Just, people go to the beach to have fun, not to be treated like shit. And the dude here on the left too, it has a little smirk on his face, but he's looking down. I really hope that they're both rethinking their life and change their mind about how they act when out in public, because they're gonna end up on Karens in the wild, even bro there.
From Ohio.
Your order to stay away from the victims, Ebenezer Men's and both Yates.
I can always tell stories in Florida when I see this judge, Mindy Glazer. She's pretty popular on some of the court cases that I look at from Florida.
One of them appeared in bond court. The 2 are charged with criminal mischief and battery. All of this happening shortly before Wednesday's 11 o'clock news.
Did these people actually hit you or Ebenezer?
Yes, both.
Ironically, our crew was reporting on the city's effort to deal with bad behavior in the entertainment district.
Our city, especially this area that your reporter was in, has been projecting itself out as a hard party, party all night area. And the result is we're getting people who want a hard party, and we're getting people, obviously, when you get that crowd, you get folks that come in with pretty bad intentions.
The City Commission voted Wednesday to stop liquor sales in the entertainment district at 2 a.m. instead of 5. They want to change the vibe.
If you look at other areas, south of 5th Street and Sunset Harbor, Coconut Grove today, they're all mixed-use areas. They have wonderful entertainment, but they also have commercial residential, boutique offices, wonderful shopping. But if you have only clubs, or that intensity of them in one little area, nothing else is going to be there.
We're all here to have a good time. It's just a vibe that's in the air, you just kind of feel it.
And that's the vibe the city is hoping for, one without chaos like we saw during spring break or past holiday weekends.
See, he gets it. He understands what it's supposed to be about. Who wants to be out there getting harassed and shit? Just go, dance, drink, socialize, smile. What the fuck? If you're having a bad day or whatever, just stay the fuck home. Nobody wants to stand your shit.
Right now, the city is also gearing up for Memorial Day weekend and the crowds that normally come with it.
There'll be an enormous amount of extra policing. There'll be license plate readers. We'll be on the cause.
And then see what happens. Now there's going to be all this extra policing, which isn't the right direction either. I don't believe that there should be a cop on every corner, but because of behavior like this, before you know it, they're gonna have everything they need to have police everywhere, policing everybody, potentially harassing people too. Before you know it, people aren't even gonna want to come out at all. All you gotta do is behave and just try to have fun. If not, just go home.
Ways, Metro-Dade and probably other cities will send some help, as will maybe the feds, because we've seen some guns coming to our city as well.
Now, we're expecting to hear more about those Memorial Day plans next week from the city of Miami Beach. Meanwhile, here in South Beach, that moved to a 2 o'clock a.m. last call. That goes into effect a week from Saturday. As for our crew, Bo, Beth, and Ebenezer, both of them are doing fine. However, as you can imagine, they're a bit shaken up by all of this. Live in South Beach, Ted Scout.
So their last call apparently is at 5 in the morning. Somebody once told me that in Florida, or in Miami actually, people are allowed to party all day and all night. I guess that wasn't true. Their last call used to be at 5, and now they're going to be like everybody else, and that's going to be till 2. So I hope you guys are happy. I hope you got what you wanted. Please don't ever come back out if that's the kind of attitude you're going to bring with you, because nobody wants to hear it. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue, and the next video clip that we're going to look at has to do with the case of a missing little girl named Dulce. Maria Alaves. And in this situation, what happened was her mother took her to the park with a couple of siblings, and mom decided to stay in the, allegedly, this is the story, mom decided to stay in the vehicle with one of her kids to help them with homework, and she let the other two go out into the park. According to her, they went out of sight. We saw a picture of the park. There were no trees obstructing the view. There was no like dip down where there's like a rotunda or anything like that for them to be out of sight. It pretty much looked like she should have been able to have sight of them or on them. So she's assisting one child with homework, and one of her other children runs up and says that the little girl had been taken, that Maria had been taken, and ever since then it's been a mystery as to what has happened. No charges have been filed on anybody. There are no suspects so far. There was a sketch that was released. First, the person was claimed to possibly be a witness and then possibly a suspect. Rumors have been going around that perhaps the father of Maria from Mexico came, got her, and took her back, but there is no evidence of that in real life. So let's see what this is about. It is called New YouTube Video Surfaces of Missing New Jersey Girl Dulce Maria Alaves, and this is going to be courtesy of NBC 10 Philadelphia. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a update. It looks more like just more footage of her probably trying to keep probably trying to keep the story alive and just letting people know that she's still missing and people should still be on the lookout for her. So let's go ahead and watch.
I took care of my daughter too.
In a new YouTube video, smiling images of a young Dulce Maria and a message.
Dulce Maria Alaves Perez will be found.
We have reached out to anybody that we feel is affiliated with the video.
And a man's voice singing to the popular Las Mañanitas Mexican birthday song. It's titled #Faith425, posted on April 25th, Dulce's 7th birthday this past Sunday. That video now in the hands of Bridgeton police.
Have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
And what did you make of it?
We're still trying to determine where it's coming from. We've been able to determine that it is Dulce at an earlier age.
Dulce Alaves was taken, police say, from this Bridgeton City Park playground in September of 2019. Chief Michael Gamari says the photos in the video are Dulce with her father, Edgar Perez, the two holding hands on a sidewalk taken in Bridgeton prior to Dulce's disappearance.
You've confirmed Dulce's father used to live here in Bridgeton and he's been in Mexico for the past couple of years. Do you believe it's his voice we're hearing on that video?
I don't know. I can't confirm that. And I've never spoken to him. The FBI has the video as well.
We also hear a man's voice saying he loves his baby girl.
I don't know where she is.
From what I'm seeing in the video, it looks like a father that is, asking the same thing we're asking. If somebody knows where Dulce is.
The video has police now working to establish some sort of direct communication with her father.
Definitely talking to a missing person's.
I do apologize for that. I'm having issues with StreamYards. Yesterday, I'm not too sure if anybody noticed this, but I was trying to watch some live streams and some videos on YouTube, and there were issues.
Father or missing child.
I kept buffering and getting kicked out of things, so I'm not too sure if this is also a symptom of that, but I do apologize.
Child's father is on the top checklist of the disappearance of somebody.
Dulce's disappearance has become personal to Bridgeton police, and they are still asking the public for tips. Tips, though, and not theories, that they can and will follow up on.
We need help. And, we believe in our heart of hearts that she's still alive today.
Reporting from Bridgeton, Sydney Long, NBC 10 News.
Video.
my mistake. I really do hope that she's found safe. It is just a big mystery to me. The mom also appeared on Dr. Phil, so that was kind of weird to me. But hopefully she's safe and she turns up soon, because we need answers, and we need to know that she's okay and not in danger of her life and things like that. It's really sad. Let's go ahead and continue on, and this next update is having to do with the Houston tiger from last week. As some of you might recall, there was video footage that went viral of a tiger that got out of the house and was roaming around the neighborhood. A police officer, an off-duty police officer, had a gun out, and the owner of the tiger came out and brought the tiger back in. Allegedly, the story is that he had time to get the tiger and put it in a vehicle and take off with it, and after an alleged short chase, the suspect got away, and after that, the story is that the tiger got passed around between several different people, and by the time that the suspect was apprehended, he allegedly did not know where the tiger was. He also claimed not to be the owner of the tiger, and since then his bond was revoked. He had a court date, and he was put back into custody, and as far as I know, he is still in custody. So the next clip that we're going to take a look at is related to that, and this is going to be a video that emerged within that time of I want to say the alleged owner, but he was the owner, of him and the tiger playing around. So let's take a look, and I also have some updates of that situation. This is called New Video Emerges of Victor Cuevas and Missing Tiger, and this is courtesy of KPRC 2 Click to Houston. So let's take a look.
At 10 o'clock tonight of that famous missing tiger being cuddled by the man who took the cat from a West Houston neighborhood. These videos showing Victor Cuevas being very playful with India the tiger.
Even more images released today showing Cuevas in multiple photos with the tiger. These photos coming from the man's attorney.
Cuevas is a murder suspect.
I just get the feeling this guy is like an adult spoiled brat. I feel like he has no discipline in his life. When he wants something, he gets it. If he can't have it, he probably does ridiculous things to get what he wants. I don't like his attitude. I especially don't appreciate that he is the suspect of a murder, and he has been out on bond for 4 years. It looks like he has a ton of money to be spending, to be buying tigers. He rented that big house. Like, who rents a big ass house like that? I mean, I've never owned a house, but it seems to me like you would rather put the money towards a house that you've purchased for yourself rather than giving it to somebody that has already paid for their house. I'm just saying. Teach their own. I rent at this time because that's what's in my budget, but this guy looks like he has a ton of money, and some of the decisions he's making is just freaking out there. But there's more updates to this story. Let's just continue watching this clip in the meantime.
Who was out on bond charged with a 2017 killing. Today his original bond revoked and a new one set at $300.
I know that Houston is very lax on when it comes to making arrests and then letting criminals back out onto the streets. I hope they don't wonder why Houston is such a high crime city. But there's a real problem if somebody's being accused of murder and they're just out on bond for 4 years. It doesn't even seem to me like he has a GPS tracking device on him. He's just allowed to live his life like every day, playing with tigers and putting the public at risk because of his selfish and spoiled behavior. That's just my opinion.
$100,000.
So as we enter the 6th night without a sighting of that big cat, our Michael Leparty live outside the Fort Bend County Justice Center. Victor Cuevas remains there locked up tonight. Michael, did his attorney say where the cat might be?
Well, Dominique, that's why he's been releasing these pictures and the video as well. He says in hopes of finding the tiger. And as you mentioned, we do know, however, where Victor Cuevas is tonight, on the other side of this building at the county jail. Here's something you don't see every day, a tiger playing with a person inside a home. Defense attorney Michael Elliott just shared the video, which he says shows India, the tiger that was on the loose in West Houston, along with his client, Victor Cuevas.
You'll see that Victor loved this cat immensely, treated it fantastically, took very good care of it.
The big unanswered question, where's the tiger now?
Somebody knows where India's at. India's there. India's out there.
Elliott says Cuevas was a caretaker who took the tiger to its owner after it was spotted.
That's a lie. Flat out lie.
On Ivy Wall Drive. So who's the owner?
That's the $100,000 question. I think the owner's hiding under a rock right now because worldwide attention is looking for him. And
I fucking hate lawyers like this. I mean, for them to just straight up lie to our faces. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, sir. We all know the truth, and now we know the truth. The truth, because there's been updates since then. And this guy is just fucking... I don't know. I want to say maybe if you're trying to get away with a crime, this is who you hire. Better call Saul, better call this guy. It's pretty crazy.
in India.
We do know where Victor Cuevas is now, the Fort Bend County Jail. He left the courtroom in handcuffs on Friday after a judge revoked his bond for an unrelated murder charge dating back to 2017 and set a new bond at $300,000.
Of course, we would have preferred it to have been higher, but I think that we're satisfied with the judge's decision.
It's not exactly the result that we were hoping for, but at the same time, it's not a terrible result either.
Elliott says Cuevas met the owner while purchasing a dog. He says the male tiger would come to visit a couple of times a month, except the most recent time, things ended differently, and that tiger got out. Elliott says that it appears that the tiger scaled a fence and was somehow able to get out, but he says it wasn't intentional. Nobody left a door open or something like that. And while Cuevas has posted...
It was intentional if the tiger was left outside. What else? You see little kitty cats. I see little kitty cats that can jump from the ground all the way to the top of the fence. Can you imagine what a tiger would do? This reporter's kind of like annoying me too. I feel like everybody's protecting this guy. I don't know what's up with Houston.
Bond before in the past. His attorney does not expect that to happen tonight. Reporting live in Richmond, Michael Lopardi, KPRC 2 News.
The saga continues. Michael, thank you. With so many twists and turns in this case, the KPRC 2 digital team is posting all of the new developments on click2houston.com. You can also stay up to date by downloading the Click2 Houston.
Danielle says, I'm back. I had art class. Well, that sounds like fun. Did you have fun? What did you make? I'm a little bit of an artist too. I like to work with acrylic and canvas and watercolor and colored pencils. I work a little bit with graphite. I'm learning perspective. Let me see what else. I'm learning digital art as well, which I hope to bring that aspect into this channel somehow. So far I've been able to make a be right back soon screen because of that, and a starting soon screen, and pretty soon I'm gonna have a thank you, see you soon screen, which I'm also gonna add music to. And that's kind of what I was thinking of doing tonight. YouTube has an option to use copyright-free music, so I kind of wanted to hang out with you all later on and just have an open discussion about whatever while I look for music for the next screen that I'm creating for this channel. So I hope that you all come by and check that out. If anybody wants to jump up on the panel, talk to true crime, talk real life, anything like that, I am open to those kinds of discussions. For now, let's go ahead and continue checking out the playlist that I created for us, and this is another update as far as the Houston Tiger goes. This is called Houston Police, India, the Tiger Found Safe, and this is courtesy of KHOU 11. 1 second, I thought I was going to go to an ad, but it didn't, so let's go ahead and play.
And we start with breaking news. India, the tiger on the loose for 6 days, has been found. Ever since Mother's Day, police have been searching for this tiger, first seen in a neighborhood in West Houston, and tonight it's the new video we've all been waiting for.
Commander, it's been a long week for looking for this guy.
It really has. But we got him, and he's healthy.
Okay, So the lady that we saw with the baby bottle giving the tiger food, here let me grab her face, is going to be Victor Cuevas' wife, and she has admitted that she is the owner of the tiger, and they're married, so that means they're both owners of the tiger. Another thing is, during Victor Cuevas' bond hearing, they asked her if she was the owner. She said no, and since then that has been proven to be a lie, so technically she did perjure herself in court. So I am not feeling like they're going to arrest her, although she did perjure herself, although she was assisting with obstruction of justice in a way. If you think about it, everybody was out looking for this tiger. Even Carol Baskins was looking for this tiger. But I don't know, I feel like they're probably not going to press charges on her because they are probably, well, first of all, it's Houston, so they're allowing a lot of shit to happen over there. Another thing is, they're probably not wanting to scare anybody off from making the decision of turning a tiger in. So let's say somebody has a tiger, and this is just my feeling, I'm speculating, but so let's say somebody has a tiger and for some reason they can't handle that situation anymore. Then they see that this woman who turned her tiger in gets arrested. That might, keep somebody from doing the right thing and turning the tiger in the future. That's just my feeling. I really just don't feel like she's going to have to face any charges for her involvement in the situation. But I'm just speculating. I will go ahead and find any more updates that have to do with the situation and put them in a future playlist for us to look at.
Well, we got him, and he's healthy.
This is a wild story, to say the least, and there are still a lot of questions. Matt Doherty joins us live with an update from Houston Police. Matt.
Ron, right now, India the tiger is inside of that trailer over there. Earlier, police opened up the back of it for us so that we could get a look at the 9-month-old Bengal tiger. You can see him here in this video pacing inside of the cage. We're being told that he was picked up this afternoon after the wife of Victor Cuevas met with Houston police officers at a location in West Houston to give up the tiger. Apparently, police say a friend of Gia, who is Cuevas' wife, who you can see here in the video, called police at around noon today. Police say the friend said she was concerned for the tiger's safety.
I don't like her attitude either. She looks like a spoiled brat too. Like, what the fuck is she smiling so much about? I'm sorry. But if it were me and I really cared about this tiger, first of all, I wouldn't have a tiger. That's hella irresponsible. But what I'm saying is, if that were me and I had to give my pet up, I wouldn't be like petting it and feeding it, being all happy and looking at the cop with all these loving eyes and shit. Like, I would be sad because I'm not going to see my tiger anymore. But I think that there have been arrangements that have been made so that she can go to the sanctuary that the tiger is going to end up at and visit it. So maybe that's why she's not too bummed out. But I don't know. I'm really not liking this couple in real life. I just feel like they're completely out of touch with reality, and there's just something about that just puts me off. Real quick, Danielle Williams said, I was finishing up a sunset painting. I don't like it. I'm not good at it, but I'm trying to get better. That's how it is. First, you gotta, not do so great before you actually get the hang of things. I know I have trouble with perspective and also like with mixing colors and stuff like that. I'm still learning. There's some people that just have this innate talent to paint and stuff like that, but I am definitely one of those people that needs to like watch YouTube videos, or I'll look at books to get inspired, and also for direction and things like that, because art is not just an art, it's also a technique. There's different ways of looking at it and things like that, but keep going at it, Danielle. You'll get better at it. The more you try, the more you learn. That's the only way. If you want, you can post a picture of your creation in the group chat, in the private group chat that we have. I would love to see it, but in the meantime, let's go ahead and continue looking at this clip.
Houston police say they are grateful that India has been found, but they believe there are more exotic animals just like him still out there.
Because just because we got India back today doesn't mean there's not other exotic animals in the city of Houston. I'd like to round them all up and put them in a safe environment. It's not safe in an apartment, not safe in a house. They need to be with other animals.
So what will happen to India the tiger next? Police say he will be sent to the Black Beauty Ranch, an animal sanctuary west of Dallas. It's the same place Tyson, another tiger, was found in Houston back in 2019, was sent after he was discovered inside of a home. Now, police say that Gia is not currently facing any charges, and we are still trying to find out some of that information and some of the discrepancies that the attorney is reportedly saying right now about who actually owns that tiger. We're live in North Houston. I'm at
Okay, sir, thank you very much. Now let's go ahead and continue. This next clip is having to do with the UFOs that we saw earlier, so let's watch that. It's called Are Aliens and UFOs Real? Is the proof in these videos? And that's going to be courtesy of Inside Edition, so let's take a look to see what they got, and it's going to be after this ad, so 1 second please. Alright, hurry up ad. Okay, here we go.
These stories will have you questioning if life exists outside our universe. And if so, have aliens made contact with us?
This is a spacecraft.
But is it? A man in North Carolina caught this in
Hey Reef Wilson, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here. I see you changed your name, or is that a different channel?
2018. It's a big silver aircraft hovering over a lake. The man who captured the image says he was convinced he was looking at a UFO.
There was nothing like that I'd ever seen before.
The video went viral, with many others hoping he was right. However, it turned out not to be an alien aircraft. It was just the Goodyear blimp. The company even confirmed it on social media, writing, "We don't want to get in the way of a good story, but that's definitely us." Sorry, space fans, not this time.
Awesome. Hi Sphinx Tales, thank you so much for joining us. We're watching a video about UFOs.
Check this out.
In 2016, these airport employees in Miami had no idea what they were looking at when a blue orb appeared in the sky. The ground crew posted videos of the phenomenon on social media, which drew comments like, "They are coming," and "Welcome to the world of aliens." But the truth was the opposite of an alien invasion.
3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
It turned out to be a rocket launched into space from Cape Canaveral, and it happened just before the sun came.
Reef Wilson says, I think I'm going to play this on the background. Yes, please. Thank you.
Came up, which is what experts say caused the beautiful blue orb.
That's what we're seeing, is the expanding gases coming out from the rocket lit up by sunrise.
Others also seem to think blue light signals an alien encounter. When the sky turned blue and
that UFO just tickles me with the sounds and shit. I love that. Love it.
Queens, New York in 2018, the locals got a little worried.
All I saw was blue, and then my lights flickered at home. So then when I went out, I saw from my back window, and I just saw like blue fire.
The ominous glow could be seen for miles, and while it was spectacular to look at, people wanted answers. Some thought the worst.
And then I said to my husband, we are being attacked, and this is our terrorist attack. All my neighbors start to run, just run.
That's all we need is people panicking, because panicking leads to no toilet paper and paper towels at the stores. Panicking leads to no gas at the gas stations. Panicking leads to the depression all over again. They really gotta let people know what's going on out there. I mean, I would question anything that the media and the government would try to explain is really going on. But just something, just let us know something about all this.
But it wasn't terrorists or aliens. The blue glow was caused by explosions at a Con Edison power plant that were set off by a fire. No one was injured, but power was temporarily lost to the surrounding area, which includes...
Sphinx Tell says something interesting. Says, have you seen the humanoid creatures that were filmed hovering in Russia and Canada at the same time? No, was that recently? I need to look that up. I had no idea about that.
Included LaGuardia Airport. Alien enthusiasts were surely let down by this event.
Oh my gosh, dude. Wow, look at it fly.
In 2020, the Pentagon released 3 videos of unidentified flying objects that were recorded by Navy pilots. The pilots can be heard trying to understand what they're looking at.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots to the west.
3 videos taken in 2004 and 2015 had been circulating in the media for years after being leaked, although the Navy did confirm their authenticity. The Department of Defense reportedly said it released the videos to clear up any misconceptions that they were not real or that there are more to them.
There's like a thing. It's rotating.
But what the videos captured remains a mystery. Inside Edition Stephen Fabian asked a former government intelligence official what they could be.
What could they be?
Yeah, great question. So we all want to know. I'd like to remind everybody, unidentified flying object doesn't mean alien spaceship. But we have to keep an open mind. The alien hypothesis is just a hypothesis at this point. Might be the Russians and Chinese. Could be perhaps some private industry somewhere. None of these hypotheses are comfortable, and they all seem low probability, and yet the facts are the facts.
The Department of Defense would only say that the objects remain unidentified. One place may hold answers to our many questions about life on other planets. Roswell, New Mexico was the site of mysterious activity in 1947, but that's about all we know.
I'm not really sure what happened, but obviously something happened.
Something crashed. Evidence shows that probably it was an extraterrestrial craft.
While the U.S. government contends that no alien activities occurred in Roswell in 1947, all kinds of conspiracy theories have been explored and still linger today. Debris reported near a military base in the town were from balloon-borne research projects. But many people still don't buy that explanation.
Back in 1947, if the government told you to shut up for national security reasons, you did it.
The UFO Museum in Roswell attracts people from all over the world to explore the many possibilities. While it doesn't provide any definitive answers, the fun really is in drawing your own conclusion.
The major draw of this museum is the mystery. Everyone loves a mystery, and this is one of the biggest mysteries in our history.
But some people say there's no doubt they have had alien encounters.
2000.
Sphinx Tales said it was very recent, like 3 days ago. They were hovering at the same time, seen in 2 different places at the same time. So the humanoid creatures were just hovering, or what, were they in a UFO? Because I went ahead and Googled Russia, Canada, humanoid creatures, and the only thing I could find was from 2018. I think I need some more, words that I could put into the search to find that, because I am interested in knowing about that.
6, Starboard support starts, and people have a place to go for support. Thinking that you're completely insane and not being able to speak to somebody, that's why we do what we do.
Members of Starborn Support gather to share their stories of alien abduction. It's a safe and welcoming place for them to share their experiences, which they say very few people can relate to.
One time I had a young lady that had just moved in with me. One night they came, took me, and in the process of them returning me back, they woke her up, at which point I was being levitated.
For these self-proclaimed alien abductees, it's not a question of whether aliens exist. It's more like, why me? For Inside Edition Digital...
That's crazy. Sphinx Tales says, no, they were hovering. That's crazy. No UFO. What the hell? AT phone home. I'm scared. This is feeling like that movie Signs, and I love that movie. Sphinx Tales, I was gonna ask you if you could just put in some keywords or something, or if you know the title of like a YouTube video or something like that, you could just put in the keywords in the chat and I can look it up, because for some reason I'm having trouble finding that, and I'm really interested in hearing more. Alright, let's go ahead and continue. Now this is another update regarding the Houston Tiger. It's called Attorney for Man at Center of Houston Tiger Investigation Reacts to India Being Found Safe. So let's see this show that he's about to put on, because allegedly the tiger didn't belong to Victor or to his wife. So let's see what kind of bullshit performance he puts on for us. And that's going to be courtesy of KHOU 11, and that's going to be after this ad. 1 second.
And a new update tonight from the legal team for the man at the center of the tiger hunt this past week, Victor Cuevas, still behind bars at this hour for a separate case. His attorney claims Gia received an anonymous call from a person who had India, and after a period of negotiation, Gia got the tiger from this person, and that's when police got involved. The attorney again stating tonight that a person named DeAndre is the tiger's owner. He said it's unclear who India was with over the past 6 days.
I don't know if the cat changed any hands or not from the time that...
Listen, Victor Cuevas was in possession of the tiger, and then after that he took off with it, and then who knows what happened. And now they're over here trying to put on a show, talking about that it got passed around, that he got passed around and they didn't know where it was. That's hardly the case. The fact is they were the owners and therefore should be held responsible. Yes, Terrence Bain, last week a tiger got loose in Houston that belonged to some people that were living in a neighborhood. He jumped the fence and got out. It could have gone way worse. You know, people could have been walking with a baby in a stroller. People could have been walking their pet. It could have been an elderly person walking through the neighborhood thinking they were going to have an okay day, and then this tiger was just roaming around chilling until people got footage of it, and then an off-duty police officer did what he could to, you know, keep anything from happening. He had his gun out and things like that. It's pretty crazy, and this isn't even the first time that's happened in Houston. In fact, it's pretty crazy.
Victor had the cat on Mother's Day until today. I just don't know the answer to that. There may have been some hand changing, or there may not have been. But however it happened, and whose ever hands it was in, they obviously did take good care of the cat.
A judge yesterday revoked Victor Cuevas' bond from a 2017 murder charge. Attorney Michael Elliott also commenting on that.
We're going to try to get Victor out if we can, and you know, he is innocent until proven guilty.
Well, that's true. All right, let's go ahead and continue. There's going to be a couple more updates having to do with this tiger. I was off for I think like 4 or 5 days, but I still had my eye on the situation, and I just tried not to collect too many videos that had the same information over and over. So far, you know, the tiger was missing, and then it was located, turned in, and now here is footage of it arriving at its new home. This is called India the Tiger Arrives at Animal Sanctuary in North Texas, and that was a 3.5-hour drive from Houston. So this tiger at this point is very stressed out. He's no longer at what he knows to be his home. He's been passed around allegedly between all these people, and now captured and put in a cage, where he will now be put in another cage, which is really sad because it does seem like kind of a downgrade from his prior situation where he was playing indoors with his owner. But the thing is, the tigers are not meant to be kept as house cats. That's what house cats are for. So let's go ahead and watch this clip, and this is going to be courtesy of KHOU 11. Alright, so here's the tiger being introduced to his new habitat. These big paws. So cute. I mean, I see the temptation for wanting to own a tiger, especially, you know, allegedly they had the tiger since it was a baby. The tiger is 9 months old, and the owners have the Sphinx Tail says that you have the link. You have to be modded in order to drop a link, but you could just put like the headline and I'll look for it. Is it on YouTube? I could just find it myself if you put the title of the video on there. Another thing is, it's safer to play news stories because they are not as strict as, you know, other YouTubers or anything like that. I don't want to, you know, take anybody's content and show it because if I don't know the person, I don't know if they're going to be okay with it, and I could end up, you know, having a whole live getting copyrighted over one clip. If you could just put the title of it.
A whole lot of MailChimp smart.
Alright, let's go ahead and continue. And now, this video is also having to do with the Houston Tiger. It's called Linda Mackingville, wife of Mattress Mac, helped arrange surrender of India. Now, for those of you that don't know who Mattress Mac is, he is the owner of a mattress store. Obviously, that's why they call him Mattress Mac. And he is known for his philanthropy work in Houston. Whenever, I forgot the name of the hurricane, but there was a hurricane that went through there, and Joel Osteen closed his big ass church to letting people that needed shelter and protection from the elements. He closed down his church. He wasn't allowing people in. His excuse was that the roads were closed and people weren't going to be able to get to his location anyways. Another thing was that a past hurricane that he did open his doors to people for created destruction of his, you know, location there. I don't know what to call it. It's a church. It's a mega church, I guess. So Mattress Mac opened his doors, considering it's a furniture store or it's a mattress store, so people were allowed to sleep on the display mattresses that were there. He allowed pets in. He's actually known to be a very, you know, helpful and good person. And Linda is his wife, and apparently she assisted with recovering the tiger. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. This is going to be courtesy of KHOU 11. So let me rewind that.
The tiger should be arriving at a sanctuary in North Texas soon. It's in Murchison, southeast of Dallas. And listen to this, a person who helped make India's transfer to Houston police possible last night is Linda Mackingville, wife of gallery furniture owner Mattress Mac. Here's Matt Doherty.
9-month-old India the tiger left Houston this morning on his way to a new life in North Texas.
Everybody gets to play in large spaces. They get to hide in the woods. They get to climb platforms, swim in pools. They get to live as a tiger would, as close as a tiger would in the wild.
Last night, Houston police shared some of the story about how India was found, but they didn't tell us this. Linda Mackingville, the wife of Gallery Furniture's Mattress Mac, was instrumental in helping to locate India and getting him into the hands of the authorities at the Mackingville's private West Houston club. In his statement, Mackingville writes in part, quote, "I was able to arrange through the help of the Cuevases for the tiger to be located and anonymously delivered to us where Bark was on standby to receive. We are happy that the tiger is now safe with the sanctuary and appreciate the Cuevases' help in this matter." Linda Mackingville says she became acquainted with Victor and Gia Cuevas when they visited the club West Side as guests of a member. However, she says she wouldn't describe them as friends. The Mackingville's Club Westside is a licensed facility with exotic animals, according to her statement. The club's website and Instagram page shows how members are able to have up-close and personal experiences with the exotic wildlife at the property. The club is home to giraffes, monkeys, flamingos, and more. India the tiger is on his way to Black Beauty Ranch in North Texas, where he'll have acres of pasture to roam free and no more neighbors telling him what to do. From Houston, I'm Matt Doherty, KHOU 11 News.
Our continuing coverage of this tiger tale extends to our website, KHOU.com. There you can read Linda Mackingville's full statement, and you can see what others involved in this case are saying.
Okay, so let me go ahead and delete that. Sphinx Tail went ahead and kindly provided me the name of the video that she was telling us about. I'm assuming you're female because of the picture. I hope I'm not incorrect. But I did see that it is a video from the Hidden Underbelly. I'm not too sure. They have 47,000 subscribers, so I'm not too sure what their policy is on sharing or showing their videos and their content and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in the chat for anybody that wants to see it. On their own time, you could just click on it or tap on it, and it'll be saved onto your history, and then you can see it whenever. So let's go ahead and do that. But thank you so much. I will watch that as soon as I'm done here, and then I'll do my own research and see if I can find anything that I can share with everybody on a future date. So thank you so much, Sphinx Tales. I really do appreciate it. Let's go ahead and continue with the playlist that I created for us. This next video is called These Animal Interactions Were Close Calls with Danger. I read that right? These animal interactions were close calls with danger. Yes. And that's going to be courtesy of Inside Edition.
Here are people.
Let me make that bigger.
Here are people who didn't know how close they were to extremely dangerous animals. Like this surfer, who in 2020 was lucky to get out of the water alive.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy that I walked over here on two legs. It's a nice feeling.
A drone caught Matt Wilkinson's brush with danger in the waters off Australia. Matt is a professional surfer, so he says he's usually able to detect when a predator is nearby.
I heard like the of its tail, and I kind of looked back and I was like, no, there's nothing there, and I had some weird vibes and just convinced myself that it was all good.
Matt's weird vibes were correct. The drone operator says he couldn't believe what he was witnessing and didn't know if he would be able to warn Wilkinson in time.
I've seen sharks before, but yeah, as soon as you see it coming close to surface, especially when it's turning around like that, it's quite frightening.
Something seemed to spook the shark. It got very close to Wilkinson, but abruptly turned and swam away. Officials say its nose could have brushed up against the rope of the surfboard. The noise from drones are also known to scare sharks away. Whatever the reason, this surfer is just relieved he left the beach intact.
It was such a weird feeling to just know that half a second later I could have been, I don't know, been in a chopper with one leg going to hospital or something. It's like, it's a horrible thought, but yeah, I don't know, I'm very grateful.
Sharks don't single out surfers. In 2018, a great white went for a boat carrying police officers. The pair was on patrol conducting a safety check when they saw the massive shark and its massive rows of teeth. Luckily, the shark swam on by without causing a ruckus. In 2021, Kaylin Phillips thought the sea creature she and her friends were passing around on the beach in Bali was cute.
It kind of looks like a frog, but it's not. It turned out to be something else. I forgot what they called it. I'm pretty sure they'll say right now.
It happened to be one of the deadliest on the planet.
Let's eat it.
No, don't say that.
That's disgusting. That's not even funny at all. Let's eat it. Fucking idiot.
I posted the picture on my Instagram story, and I got a couple comments like, hey, do you know that this is the blue ring octopus? Right over my head. No idea.
She found out it was a blue-ringed octopus with enough poison to kill more than 20 people.
You've just held this creature that not just could have killed all three of you, but apparently if there were 26 of us, we all would have been gone.
She got away.
I was gonna say, like, she even, like, I don't know, she painted this back here. I don't know if you can see that behind her. There's a painting that looks like it's not straight on the wall. I don't know, it could be maybe the angle of the, of the camera or whatever, but it looks like somebody did a really good job painting it. I could tell it has the blue rings, it's all colorful. This is a really nice painting. I kind of wonder who did that.
But apparently, if there were 26 of us, we all would have been gone.
She got away with murder, so to speak, right? She's very lucky.
I think he meant to say she got away with almost being murdered. But, I mean, people misspeak. Not going to hold that against him.
That nothing happened to her. These tiny little golf ball sized octopus pack a heck of a punch. In fact, some studies say that it's 1,000 times more potent than cyanide, their venom.
People can't feel the bite of the blue-ringed octopus, so Kaylin wouldn't have known if she had been poisoned until it was too late.
If you're bitten, there's no immediate sign until you basically drop dead. They have a neurotoxic venom that will paralyze you, and essentially what it does is it shuts down your lungs from breathing.
Kaylin says she has learned something from her octopus.
Yes, it sure is observing stuff. Wait, where am I? Right here. Ah, let me take that off. Yes. Got my bootios shirt on. You know why. It's an inside joke. I really shouldn't. I really shouldn't.
Experience.
Just don't pick up everything you see.
Wow. Even celebrities get fooled by unknown animals.
Do you want to give him a kiss?
Chrissy Teigen, husband John Legend, and their 2 kids seemed to make a new friend when they were on vacation in Bali.
What is this, Luna? A bug? It's a bug.
Chrissy posted this video to Twitter in 2018 with the message, "I swear to God, if one of you tells me this is a deadly bug, I will vomit." Sorry, Chrissy. Your little friend is a tarantula hawk wasp, and it possesses one of the most painful stings.
A tarantula hawk wasp. That sounds like the scariest creature ever. What the fuck?
Known to Mother Nature. One sting can instantly paralyze your arm.
Oh my god.
This is the most nervous I've ever been to take a sting or bite from anything.
This self-described animal adventurer actually let the tarantula hawk wasp sting him. He said he wanted to experience the pain.
The second that you feel that stinger inserting into your arm, the venom immediately takes hold and you know that you have been stung, almost like a taser or a lightning bolt shooting into your arm, and immediately it sends you into a state of paralysis. It is pretty intense.
The excruciating.
Observing Stuff says, why would you pick up a wasp? I have no idea. Literally yesterday I opened my sliding door to let one of my dogs out, and like a regular wasp came in and I freaked the hell out. The good thing was that I have a I don't know what you call it. I'm having trouble with words, but it's kind of like another barrier that I have in between the inside and the sliding door, so it got caught like in between, and I was able to exterminate it therefore after. But yeah, no, you could tell a scary bug just by looking at it. I wouldn't be touching it. By the way, I'm not the biggest Chrissy Teigen fan. I mean, she totally put her kids in danger by doing that. She didn't know, I get it, but if you're not educated on what these insects are and what they do, just leave them alone. If anything, run away from them, or I hate to say it, like exterminate it if you can, because you really just never know how dangerous or poisonous a cute little bug can be.
Excruciating pain let up after about 5 minutes, and Chrissy realized she missed a close brush with danger.
We're alive! We're alive!
This is Inside Edition Digital.
Whatever. Alright, let's go ahead and continue. This next clip has to do again with the Houston Tiger situation. It is called What Happened? Tiger King star Carole Baskin still has questions after India recovered by police, and that's going to be courtesy of KHOU 11. So let's take a look after this ad. I do appreciate everybody that is here in the room. Please remember to hit the like for me. Alright.
Visa's got you covered.
Another twist in the Houston Tiger story. The person who helped in the transfer of the Tiger to Houston police is Linda Mackingville, wife of gallery furniture owner Mattress Mac. She says the transfer happened at the former Westside Tennis Club. It's now called Club Westside. In a statement to KHOU 11, Mackingville writes in part, "I was able to arrange through the help of the Cuevas for the Tiger to be located and anonymously delivered to us, where Bark was on standby to receive."
It's like everyone's protecting this couple, and I'm not too sure that they should be allowed that. It's just making it easier for them to try to get away with whatever they want.
We are happy that the Tiger is now safe and with the sanctuary, and appreciate the Cuevas' help in this matter. The Mackingville's Club Westside is a licensed facility with exotic animals, according to her statement. India the Tiger left Houston this morning on his way to a new life in North Texas.
Everybody gets to play in large spaces. They get to hide in the woods. They get to climb platforms, swim in pools. They get to live as a tiger would, as close as a tiger would in the wild.
India is now at Black Beauty Ranch in North Texas, where he'll have acres of pasture to roam free. This story has been watched closely by animal activists across the country, including Carole Baskin from Tiger King. Tonight, she spoke with
That damn Carole Baskin.
Marcelino Benito.
Ron, tonight Carol Baskin tells me she's relieved India is safe and sound at a North Texas animal sanctuary, but she says there's still key questions that the public deserves to have answered.
I want to know where this cat was born. I want to know how it ended up in the hands of this person.
A week since a tiger was first spotted roaming a West Houston neighborhood, India now has a new home. He arrived at Black Beauty Ranch earlier today.
I think this cat's probably been kept inside on a hard surface, never had the opportunity to be a cat and really connect with the earth. And that's what that cat's life is going to be like at the Black Beauty Ranch. It'll have all of the opportunity in the world to be as wild as he wants to be.
It'll be a huge difference compared to what India's experienced the first 9 months of his life.
It's a very happy ending for India.
But Tiger King star Carol Baskin says this should not be the end of the story. So far, the tiger's alleged owner, Victor Cuevas, remains in jail on a murder charge. But no one's facing any charges related to the tiger. That includes Cuevas' wife, seen in this HPD video last night. She says someone needs to be held accountable.
This was a very dangerous thing that this man did to the cat and to everybody that surrounded them. And to hear that they were passing this cat around from house to house, endangering all of those different people that never even knew that this was going on right next door to them.
Tonight, Baskin tells us her $5,000 reward is still on the table for specific information that helps law enforcement convict those responsible.
People need to know how this sort of thing happens if they're going to end up having to live next door to these big cats. Everybody can imagine what it's like if they were that next door neighbor, if they were out there minding their own business, pulling weeds in their front yard, and a tiger came up on them. I mean, that's a scary thing.
India will be quarantined away from other animals for the next 30 days, but should have a whole half acre to himself in just a few days. Marcelino Benito, KHOU.
I really hope that they continue providing updates on this Houston tiger situation. I know it doesn't seem as urgent as some of the other stories that oh man, I wish you guys could see my dog. He's so cute. He's just staring at me. I think he looks like he wants to sneeze. Oh, I love animals. I'm a big time animal person. If I could, I would have my own animal sanctuary. I don't think I'd have like tigers and like elephants and stuff. Maybe something more like cows. I always liked Highland cows. Those tiny little mini cows are so cute. I want some. Or like llamas. Llamas would be great. You know, maybe like pigs, roosters, like farm animals, I guess. That's something that I would want to do someday in the future. It takes a lot of work. You could tell. Even my 2 dogs keep me busy all day long. But I really hope that India has, you know, an easy transition, because that's got to be tough too. She's gonna miss her owner. She's gonna miss being inside, or he. Sorry, it's a male. But yeah, if I find any other relevant updates, especially on that murder case, as far as Victor Cuevas goes, I want to know more about that, and I want to know why they're not moving along with court in that situation. It's kind of weird to me that he was just allowed to be free this whole time. It's been 4 years. How long? Come on, Houston has to get it together. Malia Davis' situation as well. We haven't had any significant updates in a while, and if anything, they keep pushing Darian Vence's court date further and further, and I don't think that's a good sign. Seems to me like they don't have anything to hold him, or not to hold him, but like to continue with the process. Alright, let's go ahead and continue watching our playlist here. We're down to about 12 videos to watch. This next one is an update having to do with the Tristan Bailey case, and she is a teenager. She was a high school cheerleader, and she was missing and then turned up later that day, passed away due to stabbing Aiden Fucci, who is, I want to say, a year older than her. He's, I think, 14, is the only suspect in this situation. He was caught on surveillance walking with her, and then he was seen walking back without her and his shoes off. Since then, there's been evidence that has been found, I think, in his room. I want to say that his clothes might have had blood on them or something like that. He had a court hearing, and this is an update, and this is called Aiden Fucci's attorney files motion to withdraw as counsel, and this is going to be courtesy of First Coast News.
Well, meanwhile,
Oh,
Another
gosh,
delayed.
That's not what was supposed to happen. Hang on a second.
Now to another.
Be quiet while I go back and expand. Alright, let's go.
Now to another top story on this Monday. It's been 1 week since charges were announced in the death of a St. Johns County teenager. Last Monday, we learned that 14-year-old Aiden Fuchu, who you see here, was charged with second-degree murder in the death of Tristan Bailey.
And today, Anthony, we learned that the teen suspect is now getting a new attorney. On your side, Jeannie Blaylock is standing by in our newsroom with the details. Jeannie?
Well, let me tell you what we know so far. The attorney for 14-year-old Aiden Fuchu filed a motion today to completely withdraw as counsel in the case. That's according to the state attorney's office this afternoon. Fuchu is charged, as you say, with second-degree murder in the death of the St. Johns County teenager Tristan Bailey, who was just a 7th grader in St. Augustine. The motion comes exactly 1 week after Fuchu was arrested by the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. At this time, it's unclear why Fuchu's attorney filed this motion and stepped down from the case, but we are keeping track as well of another major decision in this case, and that will be, will Fuchu be tried as an adult? He has made only one appearance in court, and that was on May 11th. And during that hearing, a circuit judge ordered Fuchu to remain in the juvenile detention center for at least 21 days or until his detention is extended by the court. So we'll keep our eye on that. Heather and Anthony, back to you.
Okay, 1 second, because I'm sure this is going to want to play. That's usually what happens. Now, since there isn't much information now as to why the attorney would want to withdraw as counsel. Hi, Emmanuel Briggs. How you doing? Thank you so much for being here. We were missing you. But, sorry, I don't want to get too distracted. But my guess is perhaps he's not getting much cooperation from Aiden Fuchu. I don't know of too many attorneys that will just let go of a case due to like their own morality. I don't really depend on attorneys to care. I mean, I've seen them lie through their teeth. We just saw that dude talking about the Houston Tiger. He's probably still saying that Victor and Gia aren't the owners, even though they themselves have already admitted to such. So stay tuned for that. It's just going to be really interesting to see how this case unfolds. Hey, Black and Bougie, says evil little bastard. I agree. He stabbed her. There was rumors that he perhaps molested her, but it seems like that was inaccurate. He was allowed to have his cell phone with him when he was in the police car after being arrested, and he took a selfie or something like that. It was just really disturbing, just how messed up kids can be. His parents aren't speaking up at all, which I'm not surprised. But yeah, that was a really crazy case. I want to see what happens next, and if I find any updates, I will definitely put it in a future playlist for us to watch. Alright, so this next clip is having to do with India the Tiger, and I want to say that's probably going to be the last one for today. And this is called India the Tiger Getting Adjusted to New Home, and that's going to be courtesy of KHOU 11. So let's take a look.
Well, meanwhile, India is trying to get used to his new environment at a wildlife sanctuary in North Texas. It's going to be a major adjustment. How do you situate a huge 9-month-old tiger cub into its new home? Well, you start with a forklift. It's been a long and winding road for India the Tiger, but now it's in the hands of experts at the Cleveland Amory Black Beauty Ranch in the North Texas town of Murchison.
India arrived at the sanctuary safely, and we've unloaded him, and he's adjusting well to his new habitat.
The senior director of Black Beauty Ranch is Noelle Almrud. She says India will stay inside his den for at least the next couple of days, a small space compared to the half-acre he's going to have all to himself eventually.
After living in a house for so many months, he might not be adjusted to living in such a good space, and so we want to give him time to acclimate on his own terms.
Acclimating to life without this collar, and no more being treated like someone's pet. Now in the hands of wildlife experts, the big cub will be quarantined for at least the next 30 days to ensure he's not carrying any viruses or diseases.
Another delayed.
Okay, so that's going to be that that story. Now, this is an update on the Amari Nicholson case, and for those of you that aren't aware, he's a little boy from Nevada. His mom left out of town to go check on her mom after an alleged dog bite, and she left the baby with her then boyfriend. The baby went missing, and the story from the boyfriend and the mom herself was that a relative from the baby's biological father's side of the family came by and allegedly just rushed into the house, took the baby, and left. That has been revealed to be a lie. What really happened was Amari soiled himself, as babies do. He was 2 years old, I believe, so he was in party training, and he had an accident, and Terrell Rhodes is a suspect, and he is alleged to have beat on the baby. I want to say he used his fists. And then after that, he discarded the baby's body like he was worthless, which is very enraging to hear. This is going to be really emotional and a sad update, so please, viewer discretion advised. This is called Rhodes facing several charges and held without bail. Amari Nicholson's family shows up to court, and this is courtesy of 8 News Now, Las Vegas. So let's take a look at this update.
Court appearance for 27-year-old Terrell Rhodes. He is accused of murdering his girlfriend's 2.
Yeah, I want to say Black and Bougie says his alibi was just as bad as Darian's, stupid and unbelievable, and the coincidence of these two stories too is crazy. The mom in both situations left out of town to tend to one of their parents, and then they left the baby with their boyfriend instead of bringing them along. I want to say in both situations they had the option to bring the child with them, and they did not. Then the baby was turned out murdered. No charges on the mothers as of yet. I guess they don't have enough to prove at this point that the mothers were involved, but I mean, they have to know what their boyfriends are capable of in one way or the other, in my opinion. You don't just leave your baby behind. And not only that, but the baby's biological father's family looks like they wanted to be involved, and they look like they really cared for the child, and probably would have, and most definitely would have done a way better job at watching out for him than the boyfriend. It's just crazy to me, just how women can just be so naive, and I don't even want to say trusting, like just irresponsible is more like the word. And I feel like there should be charges based on that, even if they can't prove that the mother was there during, the murder. I hate to say it because we're talking about a child, but that's the truth. These babies are being murdered every day. It's one thing or another. I have another situation that I'm going to show you all. Maybe you all have seen it. It went viral, but that's going to be probably one of the last clips that we look at. But just the way babies are being treated in society is very disturbing, and it just makes me feel like you really just can't trust anybody these days. The best thing is just to keep your babies close, tight. You gotta hover over them. They might not like it, but it's for their own good. I'm not a mom or anything like that, but I mean, you've got to do more and care more for the life that you brought into this planet. There's a lot of messed up things happening every day, and I would like to think that at least moms are going to do more to protect their babies from these horrible things. I mean, we're talking about a defenseless 2-year-old child that could barely walk and talk and is learning how to use the bathroom, and they're being treated as if they could take care of themselves ultimately, and that's just not true. Sphinx Tale says the story makes me sick. Me too. I really just feel nauseous just reporting on it and doing the research on the story and seeing the mom too. I just don't believe that she did not know anything. She's crying now, but I just feel like she knows more than she's letting on. She pretty much gave him an alibi by the looks of it. by helping him, saying that, oh, I told him that somebody was going to come by, but I never said who or for what. Like, that just doesn't make sense. As far as I know, there hasn't been an autopsy yet, so we don't know time of death to be able to say whether the baby had been passed away before or after the mom left to allegedly go tend on her mom. Let's see. The next comment is, I'm just now starting to go out of town without my kids. If I experience a new place, I want them to experience it too. Absolutely. And you know, one thing that I wanted to say is maybe she's somebody that believes that COVID is a real problem. Maybe that's why she didn't want to take the baby with her. Maybe she didn't want to put the baby at risk of that. But the thing is, when she was asked why she didn't take the baby with her, she gave no comment. So I don't know what reasoning she's giving the police. I hope they're pressing her for more information, because I really feel like charges should be put on her as well. Let's see. Sphinx Tail says, I'm a mother and I agree. Stop leaving your children with people you hardly know. Absolutely. Emmanuel Briggs says, is it just me, or does it seem like they're going surprisingly light on these child murderers? Lately, they don't seem to go after them aggressively and all out like they did in the past. That was devastating. Black and Bougie says they didn't have their dumb story together. Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at this update.
2-year-old son. Prosecutors say Rhodes confessed to killing Amari.
I mean, just look at him. Look at this mugshot. He looks like a demon. Some people say like an animal. I would not insult animals like that. Even animals take care of their babies better than this. This is ridiculous.
Nicholson then hiding his body. For days, he claimed the child had been taken by an unknown family member. Bianca Holman is live this afternoon at the Clark County Detention Center with the latest in the case. Bianca?
Well, Rhodes is being held here at the jail with no bail. He was supposed to appear in court today and Friday. Both times he was a no-show, and we're told that he is being held in quarantine, and that's the reason why he has not been in a courtroom. Rhodes is charged with open murder and was supposed to be in court today on that case. He's also charged with resisting arrest and assault on a protected person. He's scheduled.
Black and Bougie says, I don't know, I've never been satisfied with the way they handle child killers, because the best way to handle child killers is to just dump them out in the ocean. I could think of lots of torturous techniques that I would not mind myself. I would volunteer as tribute for torture techniques on a child killer. That's really the best way to handle these situations. They're not worth being put through the system. They're not worth tax money, you know, that the hard-working people that are law-abiding citizens are contributing to society just so these criminals and child murderers can be, you know, smacked on the wrist and then be let out again because they're running out of room in prisons. There's a quick solution to that, I think, but everybody deserves due process, and then again, we also never know, because there's people that do get convicted unjustly, and so we got to be careful with that as well. But in this situation, we know he did it, and there's really no reason to even entertain or tolerate, you know, due process. Danielle Williams says, this is sad because there are women out there who aren't able to have kids, but those who are able to have kids are abusing them or killing them. This is fucked up. I totally agree. That's absolutely correct. Alright, let's go ahead and continue.
For an appearance Tuesday on those charges. Amari Nicholson's father and his family, they showed up to the courthouse today. They tell me they're still grieving the loss of their son, nephew, and loved one.
Look at all of this support. All these people here. Any one of these people here would have done so much more for Amari. That's another thing too. Taylor needs to be held responsible for her decisions that she made leading up to her baby's death, one way or another. Even if it turns out that she's really that stupid and took off out of town without her child because she just is that dumb or whatever, that idiotic to think that a new boyfriend would care for a child that's not even his. I'm not too sure. I want to say that perhaps they even knew each other for a long time. That's the alleged story. I don't know whether to believe anything she says. But look at this family that has come together for Amari, and they were not allowed at all to have an opportunity to step up. In fact, they were kept away from him. And that I really hope that at the very least at this point Taylor can't even sleep at night or eat or do anything, because I mean it's just too good for her to still be, you know, free and not suffering any consequences other than the tears that she's showing on TV. Let me see, I don't want to skip any comments, but Emmanuel Brick says, I'd love to bury one of them in the middle of the desert in sand up to their neck, pour syrup on his head, and let a bunch of fire ants have at him. That's a good one. See, now we're getting creative. Alright, Black and Bougie says, even if the dad was a scumbag, why keep Amari away from his family? Let them have a relationship with that baby. And I want to say that Taylor even said, I was always the cordial one. I always let the baby daddy be involved in his life and all this shit. This is just crazy. I hate her. Here, I have a banner for that situation. It is not the intention of the channel holder to bully or harass any of the subjects covered here, only to provide creative, original commentary and to report the news. Let's continue.
We tried in the past to make Amari a part of our family, and we, for some reason, were denied that opportunity. And we feel that Amari spoke to us throughout this whole process. We're here because we still need closure. We still want to make sure that there is justice for Amari. We're coming from all over the country just to show him that Amari had options. He had people that cared about him, and he did not have to go this way.
You can hear the pain in her heart, in her words. That was much more than we got out of Taylor throughout this whole thing. I don't know about I'm pretty sure everybody can agree with me, but I'm looking forward to her being charged as well. It's not good enough at this point.
Now, the family says funeral arrangements have not been set at this time. They want to say thank you to the Vegas community for their unwavering support. So they plan to meet this afternoon. There'll be a balloon release in an hour at the Seagull Suites. Bianca Holman, 8 News Now.
Okay, let's go ahead and continue. This next clip is a update with another story that I've been covering. The Suzanne Morphew case. She went missing last Mother's Day. Allegedly, her husband alleges that she went out for a bike ride and perhaps was attacked by a mountain lion or something like that. They live out there in Colorado where there's a lot of nature. His assumption allegedly is that she was dragged away by some cougar, and that's it as far as I know. He recently was charged, I want to say, with her murder or perhaps disposing her body or something like that. Let me try to find out what his charges are. Barry Morphew charges. Let's see, it says on May 5th, 53-year-old Barry Morphew was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, tampering with physical evidence, and attempt to influence a public servant. Additional charges were, yeah, that's not suspicious at all. I want to say that his daughters are even still behind him after all this. It says additional charges were published in an updated complaint by Chaffee County District Court on Tuesday, May 18th. So let's go ahead and take a look at this update. I don't know if I said the title, but it says Barry Morphew accused of voting for missing wife Suzanne Morphew, and this is courtesy of 9 News. So let's take a look. My mistake. I thought I had unmuted. Here we go.
Quite a strange twist. The southern Colorado man accused of killing his wife, Suzanne Morphew, is now facing new charges, and that includes voter fraud. Barry Morphew accused of submitting her ballot in the 2020 presidential election. Chaffee County investigators say Morphew admitted to submitting the ballot in his wife's name because he wanted Donald Trump to win. He's now charged with forgery of public record and an election
mail ballot offense. This, of course, in addition to the first-degree murder charges he's facing in Suzanne's death. Investigators still have not found her body. In other news.
All right, let's go into the comments real quick, and let's see. Manuel Brick said, hell yeah, we'll make it a barbecue. And then Black and Bougie says, don't hold your breath. Brittany isn't facing any charges, and I doubt Taylor will either. I see what you're saying. I really hope that she says something that will lead police to arrest her, but we can only hope, and we will stay tuned for sure. Emmanuel Briggs says, I just don't understand how some of these people aren't being charged. I guess they just don't have enough to go beyond a reasonable doubt. I can't imagine why else, not. If they've got what they need, they should use it. But even then, in a lot of cases, it's really just a slap on the wrist, and before you know it, they're back out. I mean, just look at the baby Brianna case. That was literally one of the most heinous child abuse and child deaths in the history of America, in fact. And her mom, who was involved, very well knew what was going on with her. I don't want to say too much because the crime was very egregious, but we talked about it the other day for those of you that were here. It's just never enough. I'm telling you, torture chamber. I think we're gonna have to start getting medieval, because what this whole due process thing isn't enough a lot of the times. All right, let's go ahead and continue. This looks like it's another update regarding the Amari Nicholson case. This is called Cases Against Terrell Rhodes Will Be Combined, Charged with Murder of Amari Nicholson, and this was posted yesterday. And courtesy of 8 News Now, Las Vegas. Let's take a look.
News this afternoon, an update. 2 cases against the man accused of killing 2-year-old Amari Nicholson will now be combined. Terrell Rhodes did not appear in court today, but the case was in court. His attorney says Rhodes is still in quarantine. The 8 felony charges stem from police saying, the new charges, they say Rhodes grabbed an officer's gun and shot them, and they're now being added to his murder case. Police say Rhodes...
Okay, I don't know that he shot them. I think maybe he misspoke and meant shot at them. I didn't even know that. All I heard was initially that he was able to get a police officer's gun. I did not know that he shot anybody. I'm not too sure if that information is correct.
Rhodes admitted to killing Amari, hiding his body, and lying about it for 2 weeks.
Down to the case of...
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and continue. And this is going to be an update having to do with the Tristan Bailey case. This is called Investigators Confirm Aiden Fucci Allowed to Keep Cell Phone While in Patrol Car. And this is going to be courtesy of First Coast News. And this was posted May 12th. So let's take a look. Unmute first. Yeah, okay.
Down to the case of a murdered 13-year-old in St. Johns County. The suspect, a 14-year-old, is charged in her death, and a selfie of him in the backseat of a patrol car has raised eyebrows. I'm talking about the picture that you see right here. So we're answering your questions about how that was even able to happen. Our Jessica Clark joining us live tonight from St. Johns County with more. Jess.
Anthony, the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office not releasing a lot of information, especially details, when it comes to the death investigation of Tristan Bailey. But letting the suspect hold on to his cell phone may not have been an oversight on the investigator's part. Hours after 13-year-old Tristan Bailey was reported missing from her Durbin Crossing neighborhood Sunday, her friend Aiden Fucci, now arrested for her murder, posted on social media from the backseat of what looks like a deputy's patrol car.
It's, not uncommon to put somebody in the backseat of the car and let them have their phone, depending on where you're at in the investigation.
First Coast News crime analyst Mark Bachman says he's worked cases in which suspects were allowed to keep their phones for a little while.
Is that a technique to let somebody hold on to a cell phone to see what they do with it?
Yeah, I mean, it is a technique. There is no privacy in that car when they're in the back seat of the car.
It's unclear what or if that social media post of that selfie will be included in the case against Fucci. Meanwhile, an online petition has emerged with more than 100,000 signatures asking for 14-year-old Fucci to be charged as an adult. The state attorney's office makes that decision based on
The type of the crime that's been committed.
the suspect's criminal past is considered as well. Our sources tell us Fucci has no criminal history. But does the judicial system even pay attention to petitions?
The state attorney is an elected official. And relies on being elected in the future. So I'm sure that'll be taken into consideration, knowing how the public feels.
According to the St. Johns County Sheriff's, when it comes to that particular selfie photograph from the backseat of the patrol car, we are told that it is not a concern from an administrative standpoint. And at the time the picture was taken, Aiden Fucci was a witness in a missing persons case, and we now know that it will be used as a piece of evidence. We're live in St. Johns County at the St. Johns County Sheriff.
Well, damn. It's like Emmanuel Briggs said, oh wait, my bad. Oh no, Kabuji said, oh well, are they treating him like Dylan Roof? I need to look that case up. I don't think I'm aware of it, or if I am, maybe I just don't recall his name. But she says, did they buy him a cheeseburger? I mean, that's pretty crazy. You would think that authorities would be, more strict and stern with these, murderers. It just feels so weird calling a child a murderer, but that's what happened. He stabbed her, and we still don't even know, not that there would be a good reason to, but we still don't even know what motivated him to do what he did. Let me go ahead and erase this or delete it before I replay it. Emmanuel Briggs says, I hope they put that smug little psychopathic narcissist bastard under the jail. Well said. I agree. Alright, so this next clip that we're going to look at is an update on the Maya Milieta case, and she is a woman. She's a mother out of the San Diego, California area, and she went missing on the same day that she went to go see a divorce lawyer. She was attempting to divorce Larry Milieta, who in my eyes is the lead suspect in this case. So far, I guess they don't have anything on him. They haven't been able to question the children in the situation. All we have as far as evidence is a surveillance camera, captured audio of perhaps gunshots from the house. This is going to be an update in that situation. This is called The Search for Answers. Maya Milieta's family meet with Chula Vista Police in private meeting, and this is going to be courtesy of CBS 8 San Diego.
For Maya Milieta's sister and brother-in-law, the search for answers into her disappearance led them here to Chula Vista Police headquarters on Tuesday. They spent a good 2 hours inside and tell me it was time well spent.
It went great. We felt relieved. We are very happy. It was a very productive meeting.
Mary Chris and Richard Droulet still don't know what happened to Maya, but they left police headquarters with a renewed sense of hope that for detectives, finding the missing mother of three is a top priority.
We have a really confidence with the investigation now that we had this meeting.
Maya disappeared from her Chula Vista home in January without a trace. Mary Chris helped organize multiple searches across the county, but so far there is still no sign of the missing 40-year-old. Feeling isolated from police, Maya's family recently connected with former Oceanside detective Chris McDonough, who now works for the Cold Case Foundation. He helped build the bridge that led to Tuesday's meeting, and Mary Chris says his expertise has been invaluable.
There are certain questions that are not answered from, the Chula Vista, and he explains it, why it's not, they can't answer that for now, but here's the reason why.
Maya's family says some things said today need to remain confidential, but added that police did share with them more information about recent search warrants served on the Milietes' home, where police confiscated weapons belonging to Maya's husband, Larry. Mary Chris says police also agreed to be more open with their communication, leaving them with hope that they are closer to finding Maya. Their message to the community, they're not giving up, and they hope you won't either.
Please still help us, continue to support us. We'll find Maya. We'll bring her home.
Cops say
That's really sad. I really feel like Larry had everything to do with it. We saw some of the text messages that he sent to Maya's family that were very suspicious. They were biblical in nature and just seemed very odd and, dare I say, psychotic, especially considering after that he made like an altar. It looked kind of like a witchcraft altar with like red wax or blood poured all over pictures and candles everywhere. It's very disturbing. But that's not going to be enough for, the court of law to convict. So hopefully they do have something. They won't say what was revealed in that private meeting between the family and authorities. They say that they're moving along, and the family says that they're satisfied with the investigation so far. I don't know if that's being said to just kind of put a fire under Larry so he can maybe start being kind of messy in his day-to-day practices, and hopefully they could get him with something. Or maybe they do have something, they're just waiting on, it could be, forensics, that takes time, that kind of thing. But hopefully, there is an arrest in this case, because I feel it within myself that Larry is the person for us to be looking at. And I'll go ahead and put that disclaimer again. Alright, so this is going to be a situation that happened recently. Many of you have probably heard about this already. If not, I did post about it on my True Crime IG. For those of you that are not following that, please follow me there. If you have trouble hitting the link, I try to add the link whenever I start live streams. But you can search for True Crime and YouTube Videos IG. That's all one word, and I post updates on that as well as here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the situation out of Florida. This video is called Blue Slime Evidence Found on Suspect in Attempted Kidnapping, and this is going to be courtesy of Inside Edition. Let's take a look.
Cops say a security camera in Florida captured a disturbing scene, an attempted kidnapping of an 11-year-old girl. The child was waiting for a bus on Tuesday morning when a white minivan drove by. It returned and stopped. A man could be seen exiting the vehicle and running towards the girl. Reportedly, he was armed with a knife. The girl began to run, and a struggle ensued for several tense moments before she freed herself. Then, the man could be seen returning to his vehicle and driving away as the girl ran to safety. A manhunt began to find the suspect. Later that evening, the Escambia County Sheriff gave a press conference.
Good evening. We are here to announce that we have caught the animal that tried to kidnap.
I get what he's saying by calling the suspect an animal, but a part of me, I'm an animal lover. So I feel like he's insulting animals. In this situation, I think paranormal, demonic entity is a little bit more fitting. Beastly creature, yeah, piece of shit, son of a bitch, but I'm pretty sure you can't say that in a conference, but there's other things that, are more appropriate than animal. I feel like animal is putting it lightly.
An 11-year-old girl this morning.
The sheriff reported that they had tracked the suspect, named Jared Paul Stanga, to his home and apprehended him later that same afternoon. There was one telling bit of evidence as well.
The victim at the time of the attempted abduction was playing with blue slime as a toy. She had blue slime and it was all in her hands. The suspect, when we caught him, had blue slime all over his own arms.
Perhaps that blue slime contributed to her being able to escape. If you think about it, if the suspect had it all over his arms, he was trying to hold her, grab her, take her, and maybe that blue slime was slippery and helped with her, being able to get away. I'm really glad she's okay, but after doing some research on this man, it turns out that that's not his first offense. He has assaulted a child before in an indecent way. there's just not enough that's happening to these offenders. There needs to be more. It's not good enough to put them through due process just to let them back out again, and we're supposed to assume that they'll never offend again. It's just getting to be way too much. If he gets out under any kind of circumstances, there's a reason why we have police, but at the same time, maybe police is also the reason why there isn't more street justice. I'm not advocating violence or, that any of the suspects or subjects that I cover be apprehended by anybody here. I think most people here know better than that, but due process is just not proving to be good enough to keep these violent offenders from repeating their offenses, or even to do it the first time. It's just seeming a lot easier to create a crime, and criminals are afforded more rights than the victims do, and there's something very wrong with that, and that needs to change.
Stanga had reportedly approached the girl several days earlier. The 30-year-old Stanga is charged with attempted kidnapping, aggravated assault, and simple assault. He is being held in Escambia County Jail without bond.
It feels good anytime you get a violent criminal off the street. We all saw the video.
This is Inside Edition Digital.
That's disgusting. And now we also need to know if he's gotten away with assaulting other children. I really hope that the word gets out. This story is already viral, but if there are more victims out there, I hope that they speak up so that people can see just how violent he is, and just how he's going to continue doing this no matter what. Every time you let them out, it's like they're just going to go back to it. Now, this isn't going to be every situation. That's my dog. That's not going to be, obviously, not every situation, not everybody, but we're being way too easy on a lot of these criminals. That is just unforgivable. I don't want to put blame on the parents either, but come on. I don't like the idea of letting a kid walk to the bus stop by themselves. In fact, today there was a storm in the morning, and I think mom didn't do her research and let her child go walking to school, and I literally heard a child outside my apartment crying like they were walking back, and this was early in the morning, so I think they were walking to school and they probably got caught in the rain, and it was just really upsetting. And I wanted to go out there and ask him if he needed help, but he was already, I guess, walking home, so I didn't want to harass the child either. I just watched him and made sure that he got to his apartment. But I know helicopter parenting isn't the best way to go, but we definitely need to keep an eye on the children because they're defenseless, and there's just way too many predators out there that are just looking for an opportunity. And like the news report said, this wasn't the first time he attempted with that child. She actually reported to her teachers and her principal that a man had approached her speaking to her in Spanish, and that's why a lot of people assumed that he was Hispanic. I'm not too sure what his race is. I don't want to make any assumptions. But he kept trying, and I have a feeling if he gets let back out, he's gonna keep trying, and the worst case scenario is, well, we all know we know he wasn't trying to talk to the child to help them with anything or do good for the community. He had nothing but evil intentions in his mind, in my assumptions. Black and Bougie says, if they really gave a damn, it would be no such thing as a repeat offender. That's correct. That's absolutely right. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next story, and this is going to be back on the Suzanne Morphew case, which we just talked about. She's the missing mom that went missing last year during Mother's Day. She allegedly went on a bike ride and has not returned since then. Her husband, Barry Morphew, has been arrested. I just heard something in my backyard. Let me go ahead and play this clip while I go check on that.
Live streaming can be tricky, and sometimes trying to find the right software.
The state filed new charges against Suzanne Morphew's husband, who is accused of killing her. Denver 7's Jason Grenauer joins us with that tonight. Jason?
Yeah, Shannon, he now faces 5 total charges. 2 are new. We're also learning when investigators believe he killed his wife and partially how he tried to cover it up. So here's the timeline. We have this up right now on the denverchannel.com. Suzanne Morphew originally goes missing Sunday, May 10th, 2020, Mother's Day. She was reported missing by a neighbor. But this charging document out today says Barry killed Suzanne on May 9th or 10th. But then as you just scroll down in the timeline, a full week later, that's when this video comes out. Barry Morphew saying, "I'll do whatever it takes to bring her home and to find her." Investigators believe he had already killed her and she was dead for a full week. So let's talk new charges now. In addition to the first-degree murder charge he already faced, Morphew is now charged with tampering with a deceased human body and possession of a dangerous weapon, specifically a short rifle. Now, all this according to the criminal complaint released today. We also learned the specifics on that charge of attempting to influence a public servant. Morphew allegedly made contact with members of the Chaffee County Sheriff's Department, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and the FBI in an attempt to, quote, alter their decision or influence them in some way. So this list of charges does give us some new information, but not all. The affidavit, which would outline exactly what investigators believe Morphew did, where, and how he did it, that remains sealed by the courts. His next court appearance is May 27th.
Okay, Black and Bougie says, helicopter my ass. Kids have plenty of time to be on their own. They need protection while they're little. Yeah, I would never accuse a parent of hovering or being a helicopter parent, but I have heard that term being used out there as if it's a bad thing. I don't agree with that. I do believe that kids need to be protected at all times. And like I said, I don't even agree with kids being allowed to walk to the bus stop by themselves. Anything could happen. This isn't the world where we could be so trusting of strangers, especially. So I definitely, oh, what happened here? I definitely get what you're saying, Black and Bougie. I think. All right, let's go ahead and continue. This next update is going to have to do with the Tristan Bailey situation, and this is called Former Jacksonville Sheriff Discusses How Cases Like Tristan Bailey, Maddie Clifton Change a Community. And we're down to our last 3 clips. And like I said earlier, I'm going to try to come back later tonight, if not tomorrow, and it's probably not going to be a true crime live stream. I am trying to create a screen for like whenever I finish up live streams. You know how like when I get started I have like that UFO picture gif with the music. I'm trying to do one for like an outro. So I figured since I'm going to be going through music files and stuff like that, I could have a live and do that, and also chat with anybody that wants to come up on the panel or just in the chat. It'll just be more of an open panel, free form type of chat. So let's go ahead and watch this next clip. It's called Former Jacksonville Sheriff Discusses How Cases Like Tristan Bailey and Maddie Clifton Change a Community, and this is courtesy of First Coast News. And this was posted today. So let's take a look.
Well, it's very clear from Sheriff Glover that no matter how much time passes, these girls will never be forgotten. As the sun comes out here at Durbin Crossing, you can see the candles still burning at this memorial outside one of the last places Tristan Bailey was last seen. Just like Maddie Clifton, she'll always be remembered.
I'm not sure that we're totally healed today. I know there are still people who remember it because they remind me every time that they see me.
I sat down with former Jacksonville Sheriff Nat Glover a few miles from Maddie Clifton's home. He was the sheriff at the time of the murder and spent many hours searching for the 8-year-old in her neighborhood. Her neighbor, Joshua Phillips, was convicted at age 14 of killing her and stuffing her body under his waterbed. Now, the neighboring county is dealing with their own tragedy, the murder of 13-year-old Tristan Bailey. The cases aren't comparable by any means, but the community response is very similar.
I'm not sure a week goes by in my life where I don't think of Maddie.
Glover opened up to me. I thought this was very vulnerable of him. He said that sometimes he wonders if there was anything he could have done as sheriff to prevent this from happening. He says he knows now that there really was nothing he could have done. Now, in the next half hour on GMJ, we're going to talk about some of those first steps into healing, according to Glover. In St. Johns County, Leah Shields, First Coast News on your side.
Okay, knowledge in general, everybody, real quick, I just wanted to give a quick shout out.
An emotional ceremony in North Florida.
I don't know why you started playing, that's crazy. But let me go ahead and grab the link to his page for any content creators that are out there that use StreamYard. He has a channel, let me see if I can find it, knowledge in general, let's see, where are you? I want to say that I saw your latest update recently. Let me see if I could grab that from here. Yes, here you are. So let me go ahead and grab that link. And this is a link not to his channel, but to his most recent video. He does provide information on StreamYards and any issues that you might have if you're a content creator. I did find his videos to be very helpful. Knowledge in general, I wanted to ask you real quick. Lately, I've been having an issue with, I want to say when I'm screen sharing and I expand to full screen, when I hover my mouse over to the screen that I'm sharing, I'm experiencing glitching and kind of like flashing going on. And this isn't happening when, like right now how I have it. Let me see. That's weird. Yeah, see how I have it right now where it's not expanded? I'm not experiencing that glitching when I hover my mouse over, but when I do go to full screen and I hover my mouse over it, there's like a flashing that happens. I don't know if you have any insights on that, if you can assist me on that. Yeah, let me know. But let's go ahead and watch the last two clips for today. This next one is called Community Celebrates Life of 13-year-old Tristan Bailey, and that's going to be courtesy of WKMG News 6 ClickOrlando, and that was posted today. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Remember a 13-year-old girl allegedly killed at the hands of a classmate. Hundreds packed into a Jacksonville area church last night to remember Tristan Bailey. During a nearly 2-hour celebration of life, family and friends shared stories of the young cheerleader. Bailey's family tried to keep things uplifting, her siblings sharing touching stories of her cheerfulness.
Tristan was my little Minnie. She was our family's baby, our idol, the one we deep down wish we could be like. Our similarities created some of the strongest memories and tightest bonds.
14-year-old Aiden Fucci has been charged with Bailey's death. A judge has ordered for him to remain in custody at least until his next court appearance at the end of the month.
Count of three, we run. 1, 2, 3. Ah!
Okay, so let's go ahead and continue, and this is going to be our last clip for today. It is called Mega Millions Jackpot Rises to $515 million. Yes, please. What do I have to do other than buy a ticket? Somebody tell me. Okay, let's watch this clip. Sounds really good. Come on, push me.
All right, you have to dream, right? And plenty of people all across Maryland dreaming of big, big, big money.
Bigger than it was last week. There was no winner in last night's Mega Millions jackpot, so it is continuing to grow. The last winner back in February. So the jackpot has been slowly growing, and this means it has now jumped to at least $515 million.
And when's the next drawing? That will be Friday night at 11 p.m. We don't need all of that. We only need a small portion.
That's right. When it gets to $500 million, that's when I buy a ticket.
That's when you buy?
I'm very particular. But $500 million, okay.
Now's your time to shine.
Yeah. First tonight.
Stop that. All right. What would you do with $515 million? That's a thought. All right. Let's see. Knowledge General said that, okay, I will let you know the settings and I will post a video. Okay, thank you so much, Knowledge in General. I really do appreciate you. I have the notifications set to all, so I do receive your updates, so I will be looking out for that. I did try to do like a Google search, but I'm not finding anybody else that is having this issue. So I would appreciate it if I got some assistance with that. Thank you. But everybody, thank you so much for being here. I'll try to come back tonight. It won't be videos like what we usually do. It'll probably just be an open chat. Let's see, Knowledge in General said, with that money, I will settle in Canada. You want to go to Canada? I think America works for me, or maybe like a Spanish-speaking country, since I know Spanish, and I do like Spanish food and Mexican food and things like that. I do very much enjoy that, so I don't know, maybe do some traveling. Maybe go ahead and start up that animal sanctuary I'm always talking about, that kind of a thing. Hell, with $515 million, I probably would adopt a child and bring a child into a good and healthy home and be able to afford to do all the things that I've always wanted to do. Danielle Williams says, bye everyone. Thank you so much, Danielle. I'll try to come back later on today so we can have an open chat for anybody who wants to come up on the panel or just chat in the chat. But I really do appreciate everybody. Knowledge in General says, even thinking about that amount of money feels good. And that's, I believe that if you don't have blocks on money, I know a lot of people have superstitions and things like that, and how you talk to yourself about, you know, money and abundance is equivalent to the kinds of blessings that come into your life. I know a lot of people don't believe in that. I was harassed in a comment section recently because I made a comment like, I said something like, be careful what you speak into existence, and the religious types came at me. It was like 2 of them. It was crazy too, because it was a video that had been up for like 9 years, and the comment thread was pretty much dead, and then I made that comment, and it was like the hills have eyes. These people just came out of the woodwork just to harass me, and it was just so crazy. I just gotta be really careful what I put out there as well. And I don't know, I just don't want to attract trolls into my page, and sometimes I do comment under this channel and I forget. But Emmanuel Briggs says goodbye, and goodbye everybody, hope to see you guys later. Me too. Bakabuji says, great, hope to see you later. Thank you very much. So I will see you all soon. Everybody have a good rest of the day. Please be safe out there. Protect your children. I know I don't have to tell you all that. But yeah, I will see you all soon. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good day.